Hi bookworms, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're discovering it for the first time. It's Sunday here, and Sundays on Novel Thoughts will be talks with tea, because I want to use this book mug as often as I can. Continuing with the Planuary theme, which is planning in January, because I'm that bad at puns, I wanted to have a little chat with you guys about my reading and booktube resolutions for 2017. If it seems like it's taking a while for me to talk about the books that I'm actually reading, I'm sorry, and I promise that I will be posting 2 reviews up on Friday later this week about the 2 books that I've read so far in January. So don't panic, plenty of book talks to come. This particular Sunday talk with tea is a video that I would have posted last Sunday if I hadn't been doing the booktube newbie tag, and that is basically the start of the month post combined with the start of the year post. So my 2017 reading and booktube resolutions, and also my TBR list for January. So let's get into it. In my last video, I still hadn't decided which one of my many reading challenges I wanted to do, and I'm so excited to share with you guys that I've decided to do the Pop Sugar Reading Challenge. It's 40 books, so 3 books a month, with a whole lot of different prompts designed to diversify your reading and to broaden your reading horizons. If you're interested in this challenge and you think you might like to be challenge buddies with me, let me know in the comments down below, because I would absolutely love that. This Pop Sugar Challenge works in conjunction with my Goodreads goal, which is to read 50 books this year. I'm a little bit nervous about this number because it is just under a book a week, and I have no idea what my life schedule will be like this year. But I wanted to set the number higher rather than lower because I want to make sure that I really am pushing myself to achieve my full potential as a reader. This is because my main aim for 2017 is to really set a foundation and a standard for myself as a reader that I'll be able to carry into my adult life. And that is to read as much and as diversely as I can. So I've chosen to set my reading goal at 50 books for the year in combination with the Pop Sugar Challenge, because this means that I'll be reading 40 books that will diversify my reading horizon, and I've got a little buffer there for books that I read that don't fit into the challenge. Another reading related goal that I have for the year is to finish the books that have been sitting on my shelf half finished for the last 18 months to 2 years. These books have been sitting on my shelf half read for too long, and they're all books that I really do want to finish, so I'm setting a little goal for myself to have these books read by the end of the year. This next goal is more of a book collection goal, because one of my aims as an adult reader is to grow a library. I've always wanted to be the kind of person who had a wide and diverse range of books to recommend and share with people, and this year is the start of me trying to develop that collection of books. So I've chosen 4 types of books that I don't think I have enough of on my shelves, and I've set a goal for myself to buy 3 of each of those types of books by the end of the year. Those types of books are poetry, plays, non-fiction, and autobiography or biography. I've chosen these types of books because mostly my library at the moment consists of young adult fiction that I've carried with me from childhood, or literary classics that people have given me for birthdays and Christmas over the last few years. So I really want to find other types of books to add to those to develop my library. If anyone has any suggestions for either of those 4 types of books for me to buy, I would absolutely love to hear them. So now it's time to talk about my booktube resolutions for the year, and the first one of those is to post a video on booktube at least twice a week. This is because I want to try and keep my posting regular, and I want to set it at something that I think will be achievable for the year. My second booktube related resolution is this TBR jar that I have created. So what I've done is I have taken all of the books on my book reading bucket list and cut them up and turned them into little scrolls of paper and basically put them into this jar. And obviously I have this list still on the computer, and I will be choosing books to read from that list anyway, but I thought it would be a really cute idea on the channel to be picking 1 book a month from this TBR jar, so that I've got some spontaneity in the choice of books that I'm reading, and a bit more of a challenge to my reading journey as well. So yeah, this will be starting from February because I've already chosen my books to read for this month, and I'm also already halfway through them. Another channel related goal that I have is to make at least 1 meaningful book review a month. So for these books I'll be doing more than just posting like a basic review or a basic summary. I'll actually be doing a review that might actually be a bit more spoilery, because I'll be looking at particular quotes in the book or themes in the book or plot points in the book that really affected me and that I thought were really important to think about. These will be the kinds of videos that you'll want to watch after you've read the book, or if you don't mind spoilers, but they're the kind of reviews that I think are the most important for me in my reading journey, because like I said, I really want to be thinking deeply about these books rather than just consuming books and then telling you whether or not I like them and then throwing them away back onto the shelf. So the final booktube related resolution, and also the final resolution in general that I would like to share with you, is that I would like to get better at using the other social media platforms that seem to be kind of linked to booktube as well. The main two that I would like to get better at using are Tumblr and Twitter. So my idea for Tumblr is that I'll probably be using that to post more in-reading updates of how I'm going with reading, because I feel like my reading journey moves almost too fast for me to be posting videos about as often as I have. For example, I've already read 2 books before I've even got around to making a review video for a Friday. So I'd like to be able to use Tumblr to be sharing more of a continuous update of my reading journey that is in between the videos that I'm making on YouTube. As far as Twitter goes, I'm just really bad at Twitter in general, so if anyone has any advice for me on how to become more of a part of the booktube community on Twitter, I would love to hear it, because like I said, that's part of my resolution for the year, and I'm at a bit of a loss as to how to do that. Woohoo! Finally got through all of the resolutions. Gonna do a little arm wave. Anyway, that is all of my both reading and booktube related resolutions for 2017 for all of you to see and for me to review at the end of the year. I guess the only thing left to do is to talk to you about my TBR list for January. Woohoo! There are 4 books on my TBR list for January. This is them. The first one on this list is Everything is Illuminated by Jonathan Safran Foer. This book is a fictionalized account of the journey that Jonathan Safran Foer took to Ukraine to find out more about the history of his family in Ukraine and to try and find the village that his family came from, which was destroyed during World War II. I've actually already read this book, so I will be posting a more in-depth review and also discussion about this book on Friday. This is one of the 2 books that I promised you I'd do a review for, so keep an eye out for that. The second book on that list was Cannery Row by John Steinbeck. John Steinbeck is an author that I have already grown to love thanks to reading his short story of Mice and Men, as you might know, because here is my mug of that story. Lots of John Steinbeck going on in this video. Now look at how much Steinbeck. This is a short story that follows all of the characters that live on a particular street in Monterey, California. So it was a bit more of a social analysis than a full-on narrative, plot-driven novel, but it was really light-hearted, really fun to read, and I'll be posting a review and a discussion about this book on Friday as well, because I've already finished it too. The third book is the book that I'm reading at the moment, and that is The Book Thief. I feel like most people know at least a little bit about this book. It's been around for a while, it's very highly talked about, it's very popular, and it's also definitely a very interesting book. The book is narrated by Death, telling the story of a little girl in Nazi Germany, basically in the lead up to and then during World War II. It is fascinating so far to read. It's a really interesting narrative perspective and obviously a very heart-wrenching story at the same time. So I'm enjoying this so far, and I hope to be able to post reviews about this later in the month. The final book on my list is Catch-22 by Joseph Heller. This is actually where the phrase Catch-22 comes from, so I'm really curious to read this, and I've heard that it's a very funny book. It's about a soldier who is in World War II and doesn't want to fight and tries to get out of it by pleading insanity. If he wants to fly, then he's considered insane and therefore doesn't have to, but if he doesn't want to fly, which he doesn't, then he's sane like everyone else who doesn't want to fly and therefore has to. So I'm kind of curious to see how this pans out, and that is my final reading book for January. So that's it, guys. That is the full list of my 2017 reading and booktube related resolutions, along with my TBR list for January. So again, if you were interested in the Pop Sugar Challenge at all, please do let me know in the comments below, because I would love to find someone to be able to do it with as a challenge buddy. I really like the idea of being able to share book ideas, experiences, and suggestions with someone, so let me know if you're interested at all. And finally, keep an eye out for my 2 book review posts coming out later this week for the 2 books that I've already read in January, along with many other planuary posts to come before January is over. In the meantime, stay classic.